David was dead. Sarah had buried him herself, stood beside the grave, and watched his coffin disappear into the ground. So why were fresh flowers arriving from him every Monday morning? Sarah stared at the bouquet sitting on her doorstep. White lilies, her favorite flowers. Attached was a small handwritten note. She read the signature twice. David. Her hands immediately began to shake. Because David Parker had been dead for 8 days. Stay with me. Because over the next year, those flowers would reveal a secret David had protected for years. And the final bouquet would completely change Sarah's life forever. Sarah was 42 years old. She worked as a librarian, had been married to David for almost 20 years, and thought she knew absolutely everything about him. She didn't. Their life wasn't extraordinary. It was normal. Grocery lists, forgotten umbrellas, arguing about what movie to watch, and laughing over burnt dinners. The small, ordinary moments that slowly become an entire life. Then one cold November evening, David suffered a massive heart attack. Doctors fought for hours. By sunrise, he was gone. The funeral happened 4 days later. People filled the church. Everyone said the same things. He was kind, dependable, thoughtful, the type of man who remembered birthdays and always checked if everyone else got home safely. Sarah believed she knew every part of him. She was wrong. The first bouquet arrived the Monday after the funeral. Then another arrived the next Monday. Then another. Every bouquet contained white lilies. Every bouquet contained a note. Every note was signed. David. The first note said, "Take Emma out for ice cream this week." Sarah smiled through tears and did exactly that. The second note said, "Call your sister." The third said, "Open the paint box in the garage." She hadn't painted in almost 15 years. Yet somehow, she obeyed every instruction. Not because she understood them, because following them made her feel close to him. But then something strange happened. The notes began predicting things. One weekend, Sarah stayed in bed all day crying. She told nobody, not Emma, not her sister, nobody. The following Monday, another bouquet arrived. The note said, "Go outside today. The world is still beautiful." Sarah froze. How could anyone know that? For the first time, she felt something she hadn't felt before. Fear. Who was writing these notes? And how do they know so much? Even Emma began asking questions. One evening, their 16-year-old daughter sat beside her and said, "Mom, who keeps sending these?" Sarah had no answer, because every Monday only created more questions. Then, 6 weeks later, a bouquet arrived with something different. No note, just an address. Nothing else. Curiosity defeated grief. The next morning, Sarah drove there. The address led to a small flower shop on the other side of town. Behind the counter stood an older man named Mr. Harris. The moment she said David's name, he became quiet. Then he smiled sadly and said something that made her heart race. "I've been expecting you." Sarah stared at him. "What do you mean?" Mr. Harris slowly answered. "David planned all of this years ago. Years. Not months. Years." Sarah felt her stomach drop. Mr. Harris explained that David had visited the shop every month for 6 years. He arranged future bouquets, future notes, and future instructions. Everything had already been paid for. Sarah was stunned. But one question immediately replaced another. Why? Mr. Harris reached into a drawer and handed her a sealed envelope. On the front were 3 words. "Not yet, Sarah." That night, she couldn't sleep. What was David hiding? The flowers kept arriving every Monday. Each one contained another instruction. Take Emma to the beach. Visit your mother. Buy yourself something nice. Say yes to something that scares you. Slowly, something unexpected happened. Sarah began living again. She laughed more. She cried less. She started painting again. For the first time in months, her house no longer felt frozen in grief. But she still didn't understand why David was doing this. Then 6 months later, another clue arrived. Inside one bouquet was a small key. Attached was a note. "Garage workbench. Bottom drawer." Sarah immediately ran there. Inside the drawer sat a locked metal box. The key opened it. Inside were journals, letters, and medical documents. Then she saw the diagnosis. 6 years earlier, David had been diagnosed with a serious heart condition. Doctors had warned him treatment could help, but there were no guarantees. Sarah sat on the floor in complete silence. The journals explained everything: the appointments, the fears, the nights he couldn't sleep, the things he never told her. And one sentence appeared again and again: "I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid Sarah will stop living." Sarah finally understood everything. The flowers were never about remembering him. They were about saving her. David wasn't preparing himself for death. He was preparing her for life after it. Every bouquet had a purpose. Every note was a lesson. Every instruction was another step back toward herself. Then the final Monday arrived. Sarah opened her front door. Nothing. No flowers. No note. No lilies. Nothing. For several seconds, she simply stared at the empty porch. Then she remembered the envelope Mr. Harris had given her months earlier. "Not yet, Sarah." With shaking hands, she opened it. Inside was David's final letter. She began reading. "If you're reading this, the flowers have stopped. Good. That means they did their job. When we met, you spent your life taking care of everyone else. Then you spent 20 years taking care of me. I knew that after I was gone, you would spend the rest of your life taking care of my memory. So I had to stop you. The flowers were never for me. They were for you. They were meant to teach you how to live without waiting for me to come back. Because, Sarah, I was never afraid of dying. I was afraid you would stop living. Promise me you won't." Sarah could barely breathe through her tears. Then she read the final line: "Now go enjoy the life we built together. Love always, David." Years later, Sarah would still remember every bouquet, every note, and every lesson. But what she remembered most was this: real love is not measured by how long someone stays. Sometimes it is measured by how carefully they prepare you to keep going after they're gone. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Drop a comment and tell me, what is the most meaningful gift someone has ever received from someone they love? I read every single one. Subscribe for more stories like this. Real, raw, and always worth your time. All animations, characters, and visuals in this video are original AI-generated content created exclusively for this channel. All stories are original fictional narratives written for entertainment and educational purposes.